Drafted Armchair Quarterbacks. We're Jim and Joe, lifelong friends, lifelong fans, bringing you fan-driven sports talk the way real fans do. No overpaid experts, no scripted analysis, just honest takes on the games, players, and the big stories shaping sports right now.
We want you to be a part of it too. Drop your comments, questions, and takes. We'll read them all and bring them into future shows. So please hit like, subscribe, and join the conversation every week with us for free on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you listen, Instagram, TikTok. Hey, Joe, what's happening?
Good freezing cold morning, afternoon, Jim. Yeah, it's Monday here in North Georgia. We got about 2 inches of ice last night. High today is 30, so it's still sticking around. So, most people kind of like it. People that got to work or driving it don't, but it's kind of cool.
Man, I'll tell you what, and that's a good pun. It is cool.
Very cool. And it all started yesterday. So while I'm watching the Patriots Denver game, it's sleeting out here, like you could see it collecting on the, in the grass and all that. So kind of appropriate.
Yeah, what's that thing they call it? Is a real vision, real feel TV or something?
Sense around.
Sense around? Yeah.
Yeah. Like Kentucky Fried Movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember the guys in the theater, and every time like the actress slaps there's somebody behind you slapping you. It was like,
Yeah.
anyways,
Great memory. How many times did
thank
we
you.
see that when we were growing up at South Miami
Listen,
Sunnyland Theater?
yeah, I know you could smoke up in the the deck, the top
Yeah.
section. That was pretty funny. Yeah,
Oh,
listen,
man.
anytime I get a chance to prove that I can remember something, I'm doing it. So don't even worry about that.
Yeah, good job. Well,
Yes.
then we got to remember how great this past weekend was. I think we should just start right off with the afternoon ball game with the snow, as you mentioned. The second half, the snow was a factor. I don't care what anybody says. That's my opinion. But man, what a great football game. 10-7, but the defense for both teams, those were the two best defenses. The cream did rise to the top in the AFC, in my opinion.
Those those games were great. Both games were fantastic. The earlier game, yeah, Patriots at Broncos. Patriots were 0-4 in Denver. It's kind of like a pitcher's duel. I'm sure this has been said a gazillion times, those 1-0 baseball games. That's kind of what this was about. But it's football, and it did make, every single play, every single tackle seemed, important. And I really liked watching this game. And it's a shame really that Bo Nix didn't play in it. I don't know if the outcome would have been different. And I don't want to jump right to the end of the game, but the fact that Denver lost, there's always that. Well, if Bo Nix would have played, kind of thing, and it's just the only reason that's a shame, and that's football. Hey, injuries are part of the game more than any other sport, possibly. But it would have been nice just to see Bo Nix. But having said that, Drake May delivered. The New England defense delivered. The Broncos defense delivered. The coaches and their play calls delivered. The weather delivered. It was fantastic.
It really was. And to your point there, that Drake made, how he delivered, it still amazes me. When I checked my cell phone and looked at last night after the game, I was like, how many yards did he have passing in that ball
Yeah,
game? Well,
yeah,
his stats. This blows me away. This is a winning quarterback in the AFC Championship game for the New England Patriots, Drake May. 10 completions. That alone right there, the only thing I can think of is the past, and here I am being a homer again. Bob Greasy, 12 completions in the Super Bowl, but the
yeah.
Dolphins won, 14-7 over the Redskins. Oh, okay. I think he had like 12 completions in that ball game, but he had 10 completions out of only 21 attempts. So
Yeah,
even that, not even 50%. Okay. 86
yeah.
yards. That
And
was his yardage total in that football game.
you know what? That wasn't a lot of yards. Guess how many interceptions he threw?
Zero.
0. that's the stat to me in that game. Oh, and by the way, guess how many fumbles he had?
Zero.
Those were the stats because coming into this game, May was, I'm not saying anyone was questioning his leadership, his, blah, 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 but this is his first, playoff game on the road. He hasn't taken care of the ball, especially in his last game. He's playing an incredibly, opportunistic defense. So, in my opinion, the two stats that mattered was 0 and 0. And that was all it really took to win this game.
Excellent. Love it, man. And those really are what matters. And we're going to talk about that for
In
the
this game,
Seattle
in this game,
in
um,
this game.
yeah, I don't think he's going to win the Super Bowl. Throwing for 80, 86 yards and rushing for 54, whatever it was. That's not going to work. Uh, so he's going to have to do better than that. But in this game, that was enough.
Yep, you were close. It was 65 yards rushing,
Yeah,
86 yards
86
passing.
passing, 65 rushing.
Yep.
Yeah, I have it right in front of me. I didn't want to distract myself from my main point. And
Yeah.
and let me tell you, this game could have gone either way very easily on just a busted play, a busted, really, instead of a busted play on the back end, this could have been won by a busted play on the front end, meaning a broken tackle, a missed tackle by a linebacker or something like that could have made a difference. So I, with the weather coming, you saw I watched the pregame and everything. It was sunny. Then the game started. It was overcast but great. I don't know if you watched the broadcast, but they did like a time lapse of the game from kickoff to through the fourth quarter. I bet you if Sean Payton would have known that the weather was going to get that bad in the second half, I bet you he would have kicked the field goal when he had the chance when they went for it on fourth and didn't get it. I bet you he would have kicked the field goal because that's how valuable points became in the second half.
Yeah. I, I, I must have said it to myself 10 times watching that game. Kick the field goal, take the points. How many times? How many times are we seeing that? It's so often now, this whole analytics thing. Well, now you get lesson learned. You should have gotten the points because the way Denver's defense was playing, we wouldn't have been talking about it. Then the other big factor, Will Lutz for the Broncos. Misses a 52-yarder wide right. And then towards the end of the game, thanks to a New England player deflecting it, you got to give New England credit on that, but he still got the kick away, but wide left. There's
Yeah,
6 points right there. Really, 9 points in
yeah,
a sense of difference.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, hindsight's 2020. I'm not going to defend Sean Payton's choice, but at the time, second possession, Stidham looks like Dan Marino. He looks like John Elway to be more appropriate. Stidham looks like John Elway driving on the field. They score, they hold, they get the ball back, go right back down the field. The weather's still great. It's the first half. So, from your own 30, whatever it was, 20 some yard line, I mean, I think the call was fine. I'm saying at the time that call, 4th and 1, why not? You're on a roll. That's the other thing. New England hasn't done a thing on offense. They look like the worst offense in the league up to that point. So why not? I think if Sean Payton would have known what the weather was going to become, he might have kicked a field goal. And that's really more of a reflection on how bad the weather got than the call on that play, in my opinion. That weather was fun to watch, man. That's one of the few games I remember where you literally couldn't tell what yard line they were on. You literally couldn't tell.
and they were using leaf blowers to try to.
Yeah,
And did you
yeah.
see the zigzag lines where they were trying
Well,
to
yeah,
use the?
because when you
Yeah.
blow, you don't blow leaves like this. You do it back and forth, man. It's
Didn't
like,
know I was going to the eye doctor today. you know,
hey, I was at Home Depot trying to decide: do I want an Echo? Do I want a Husqvarna? And I had to ended up having to go to Ace Hardware to get a Husqvarna. And I was happy to see that the blowers out there were using the Husqvarnas. You're welcome. Looks like I made the right choice.
very good. Yep, brought to you by.
Brought to you by Husqvarna at your local Ace dealer. No, it was really a great game, and the weather made it a literally a play-to-play game on who was going to win that game. Drake May won it with his legs. Um, New England defense legit. This is interesting too. During the game, Stephon Diggs, when he caught his 79th, he had a couple of catches. When he caught his 79th catch, at the time, that tied him with Devontae Adams for the receivers who had the most playoff catches in football history and have never gone to a Super Bowl. So it was kind of funny how Adams was going to play in the next game. So those two receivers were leading the entire NFL in the most playoff catches and have never gone to a Super Bowl. Stephon Diggs ended up getting one more, so he ended up with 80, and he's going to the Super Bowl. So we'll talk about Devontae in a minute, but that was kind of a crazy stat.
And it really affected Devonte Adams too in the post game interview. I'm not sure if you've seen that yet.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah,
you could tell his eyes were he was overcome with a lot of emotion after losing that. He even just simply used the term "it sucks," and
yeah.
yeah,
And people think, it's like, wait, you got to get back there one day. Look at Stephon Diggs, man. He was with Baltimore, with Buffalo all those years,
yeah.
just right on the cusp of winning. Drake May joins Dan Marino and Ben Roethlisberger as the only quarterbacks to reach the Super Bowl before their 24th birthday.
Man,
So Drake May, he's a stud, man. He kind of got drafted a little bit under the radar compared to the other names being tossed around. Good for him. He looks like a great guy, great, athletic family. Everybody in their family's played, major sports, so it's good. And I'll leave it with this too. This was kind of just came across, my desk per se, but the Patriots became the first team in NFL history to beat three top five ranked defenses in a single postseason run: the Chargers, the Texans, and the Broncos. So they had to earn this. So a 10-7 victory, doesn't matter. Could have been 8-7. You won.
yeah, and it didn't matter because you know what? The Patriots stopped 10 straight drives. Their defense
Mm,
was amazing
yeah, yeah,
yesterday. 10 straight drives for the Broncos as the game wore on. 0 points.
yeah,
Zero.
yeah. And the weather didn't hurt any defense on this game, but the Patriots defense looks legit. So, yeah, and you throw in a decent offense and it looks good. I'll be honest with you, Stidham looked a little bit overwhelmed. Came out of the gate great. I think there was still a lot of adrenaline there, but you could just see some of the decisions in late in the game. And I know the weather was terrible, but Jim Nance and Tony Romo mentioned it was really difficult to see the Patriots because of their uniforms blending in with the snow. And it was kind of funny. They weren't wearing like white, Clorox uniforms. Their uniforms are a little bit off white, almost like a light gray, and it was blending in with the snow perfectly. So that might have been a factor from Stidham's last pass, at least, or the interception. That
There you go. Another
we don't.
Patriots scandal we can start writing about and
You know
talking
what?
about.
I totally agree with you. It was absolutely intentional. Knowing the exact color of the snow, blending in with the grass, blending in with the just the whole environment. I wouldn't put it past him.
And I'm going to say one last thing about the Patriots with, 9-0 on the road, the road Warriors this year, undefeated on the road. Think about that. That's and since the NFL went from 14 and now to
Good,
then to
good point.
16, now to
Yeah,
17 games. That's amazing. It's almost unheard of. And
yeah,
Mike Vrabel, what a job he's done. And that guy played under Belichick with the Patriots, won 3 Super Bowls. That team fits that era's mold to a T now.
yeah, yeah. It
And I
does.
said it on the last show. I'm not ready for another Patriots dynasty, but I'm starting to go,
Um,
oh boy, here
Yeah,
we
I'm not
go.
either. I'm still not over the first one, quite frankly. But hey, I wonder if Tennessee might be having buyer's remorse or seller's remorse at this point. Um,
Absolutely.
uh, you know, but hey, we'll see. Should be a good Super Bowl from the Patriots' point of view. How about those Seahawks and the Rams game, man? Wow, that was another great game. I'll be honest with you. if the Seahawks and Rams could just change uniforms to, Cleveland and Cincinnati, or the Giants and the Eagles, and just change their uniforms, but don't tell anybody that it's the same players, and just play every week, I'd be all for it, because every single time these two teams match up, it is a great freaking game.
That's a great idea, especially so, and they have to be on TV at the time that you've got your spread ready, your tailgate buddies
Hmm.
over or just
Hmm.
family, and you got
Right,
the chicken wings all spread out and
right,
ready to go,
right.
different sauces that you're famous for, and a
Yeah,
cooler full of you know what's.
yeah.
Diet
Now
Cokes.
I'm Diet Cokes. I mean, I'm not talking about games you care about, like, your beloved Miami playing, New England, or what, those games are those games. I'm
Yeah.
talking about all the games that, you could secretly do it if you were a fan. Like, oh, what else is on? Oh, it's, two teams I don't care about. Oh, let's change the uniforms on the Seahawks and the Rams and let
Arizona,
them play.
Arizona at the Jets.
For all you Arizona and Jets fans, I apologize on Jim's behalf, but he is absolutely right as using that as
Thank
an example. That's perfect.
you very much.
Yeah, good one. Good call. That game was a kind of the opposite. High scoring offense was Seattle's vaunted defense didn't look so good. Rams defense didn't look good at all. What can you say about this game? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, first off, you put it so greatly earlier. Just put him on. Let and the division opponents play each other 4 times a year, please. If that's what's going to be delivered by Seattle and the Rams, you
Yeah,
know now now the Seahawks are in it. This will be the second time the Seahawks have played the Patriots in the Super Bowl. And we'll get into more about that game. But as you remember, last play of the game, everybody said, give it to beast mode. And Russell Wilson tried to throw it in the end zone. It got picked off. But I do think there was interference on that play. But anyway,
yeah,
Patriots
maybe.
won another Super Bowl.
Yeah,
But Mike McDonald is the story to
yeah,
me. This guy's 38 years old.
yeah,
His wife and he and his wife just had a baby boy Jack a year ago, 13-month-old baby boy, and this guy's out there leading the Seahawks. But here's a fun fact about Mike McDonald. Born in Boston. Isn't that something? And he's also, he was a great athlete in high school. He was his high school team captain. But on the last practice before his senior year, and he had aspirations to move on and keep playing football, he tore his ACL so bad he had to quit football. But that's
yeah,
what got him into coaching. And now
yeah.
the rest is history. He has,
Wait, wait. Guess what high school that was?
I believe it was in Stone.
It was in Roswell, Georgia,
Yeah,
which is 20 minutes down the road from me. So I'm going to claim, he's a local boy, even though I'm from Miami, but I've been up here 26 years. So he's a local boy.
yeah.
Yeah. So he leaves high school, and guess what? He goes to Georgia and says, "Hey, I'll be a graduate assistant in 2010." So, that's kind of where he launched himself into his coaching world, and then was a Georgia defensive quality control assistant. Not sure what that is. Probably didn't even get paid. So right after high school, he leaves high school and starts being a graduate assistant and a quality control assistant for Georgia back in the early, 2011, 2013 range. But I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I want to claim that, geographically, he's almost my brother.
Hey, this is the undrafted armchair quarterbacks. Interruptions are welcome.
Well, in a lot of cases, they're begged for. But
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
But the word got around up there in those circles up there in your hood in North
thank
Georgia,
you,
Northeast Georgia,
thank you, thank you.
and his football IQ. He's a fullback and a linebacker, so he played offense and defense. And look at the story. I don't want to keep going on about him, but we have talked about him a couple times this year. He's 38 years old,
Yeah,
coaching in the Super Bowl.
yeah.
Man,
I mean, look who he's standing across the sidelines from.
yeah,
I mean,
50-year
seriously.
old Mike Vrabel.
I mean, it's like, he's like, no. I mean, no, no. The Seattle coach is standing across from the coach who just turned 40 and he's already won a Super Bowl.
Last night's game. I'm sorry. Yeah. McVay.
Well, yeah, we're talking about the Rams Seahawks game.
Yeah.
Mike
Yeah.
McDonald.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's standing across the sideline from Sean McVay, who's just hit his 40th birthday. The two coaches on the sidelines are literally like babies.
Yeah. It was a crazy, crazy setup last night, too. It looked like it was going to be a high scoring game, and it certainly was. It got started off, and the fireworks started, and there was two plays to me that really stood out, and that was the two long throws to JSN and to Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah, that
Sam
who
Darnold was,
always seems to be open. I don't even know how.
yeah, Sam Darnold was throwing darts last night.
Hey, listen. If Sam Darnold throws and plays and makes decisions like that, who is going to beat the Seahawks? Seriously,
Of course, the
no one.
Patriots.
No, well, not if Sam Darnold plays like that.
No,
I
no,
mean, seriously, because Sam Darnold, I mean, he was, all pro type quarterback. He looked unbelievably in charge, calm, made the great decisions, made awesome throws. Listen, what are you going to do? Back to the coaches. I don't want this to be glossed over. It is amazing to me, and I forgot, but Sean McVay went to the Super Bowl as head coach at 33. That that's crazy. Won the Super Bowl at 36. So it's just incredible. And then you've got, hey, look who's on the other sideline now, going to the Super Bowl at age 38. So it's unbelievable.
crazy. The
It
way
is.
the way Mike McDonald's has that team playing, I noticed a couple of stats right after the game last night. I was like, they always play so close. I was thinking exactly what you were thinking is, they could just switch uniforms and play each other and it would have the same outcome. It's just
Yeah.
crazy. It would be close, it would be dramatic and everything. The Rams last night, Seattle's defense held the Rams to a 1 for 8 on third down conversions.
Yeah. That was probably the difference, really.
And then that only allowed the Rams to convert 2 of 3. And we know about the interception on the third try for Stafford.
Yep.
Red zone conversion, the Rams were only 2 for 3. But the Seahawks on third downs were 7 for 13. So you got 1 for 8 on third down, 7 for 13. And you'd think that must have been, what was the final score in that, Joe? That was
Yeah.
34-17. No, it's still close no matter what. And then red zone conversion for the Seahawks last night, 4 for 5.
Yeah. That was huge. I
But they
mean,
kept making it on third down. They kept the drives extending, and that's what got them into the red zone. And I really think you break down a lot of things. I know the muff for the Rams really hurt them last night, but they
yep.
started coming back anyway. But I think the just the third down and the red zone difference was the difference in that game, in my.
I mean, that in the NFL, especially, those are big time statistics. You got to score when you're in the red zone and not just field goals every time. The yardage, the first downs, the plays, the passing yardage. It, the Rams still got, they're 479, and all that, but Darnold got almost, you know, it's amazing. 321 from him. It's just, I'm telling you, man, it's hard to stop Seattle. Their defense is one of the top defensive leagues. When their offense plays like one of the top offenses, what are you going to do?
Yeah. And Stafford last night, he was the first
Stafford.
quarterback to
Yep.
lose a conference championship game in the history of the NFL after he put up 300 yards passing and threw for 3 touchdowns because of Sam
Statistics.
Darnold.
Yeah, I mean, he still should really get MVP in my opinion because it's not his fault totally that his defense stinks. But I mean, geez, the opening couple drives by Seattle, like really? I mean, it was like Swiss cheese. But yeah, it's a great game, man. Like you said, there was a mistake, just like in the first game. The backwards pass was probably the difference in the game, arguably.
Yeah. Yeah.
The muffed punt in this game was probably the difference in the game. Um, hey, listen, it comes down to that, and that's the way the playoffs should be, really. These blowout games, especially in the divisional, but in the NFC and AFC championships and in the Super Bowl, no one, well, the fans of the one team, of course, but no one wants to see a blowout. You want to see games like this.
Oh, for sure. And both games have a similarity too. Should they have kicked a field goal? The Broncos and Peyton, they
Yeah.
had their choice early, but I'm watching that game last night and I'm looking at 4th and 4. And as tough as it was for them to get to that point, the Rams decided to go for it on 4th and 4 from, I think it was the 8-yard line or the 12-yard line. And they didn't get it. And that could have brought them to 31-30 with about 3.5 to go.
Yep. Second guessing, but you're right. They had 4.5 minutes left. If they would have gotten the ball back,
4.5. Yeah, thank you.
they would have been down by a field goal. So, and you're right. At the end, it proved to be too much to try to get a touchdown.
Yeah.
So, um, going back to the Diggs Adams situation, so
Yeah.
you got two wide receivers, most playoff catches, the only two left as far as the top two, and they go in 79. Diggs gets 80. Devontae gets 83, and Devontae shut out. And he looked very sad and dejected after the game. I felt sorry for him. People forget. I forget when you think Devontae Adams. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? For me, it's Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers. But you forget he came on board after their Super Bowl run, so he didn't go to the Super Bowl with Green Bay. So he's never been, obviously. But so he'll be the only receiver left he'll lead the NFL in playoff catches and have never been to the Super Bowl.
That's crazy. And you don't
Sad.
have to say anything about Diggs because all you have to say is, oh, he played with Buffalo.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
didn't make it to
Right.
the
Good point.
Super Bowl.
I know.
Sorry,
What's the
Bills
first thing you
fans.
think about with Diggs? Runner up? Yeah, exactly.
Two great players, man.
They are. And Devontae, man, as a Raiders fan, he was obviously very discouraged, and we didn't have a quarterback. Raiders didn't have a quarterback, and all that, so he was frustrated and all that. But he also, I forgot, he was kind of looking old, like older, a little slower, and all that. But now I realize, no, he wasn't. That's just he did. No offense, but he just wasn't putting 1,000% into it because he was so frustrated. And so it's good to see because man, he is like money. When if you throw in the ball, just between him and Nakua, man, God, you just got to throw the ball to him, and they'll make the catch and the play after. It's amazing.
It's
By
going to
the
be
way, you had mentioned Charbonnet. We were talking about how's that going to affect Seattle? Will it hurt them at all? I guess not if you have Walker.
I'm amazed at how Kenneth Walker ran. He didn't get a huge amount of yards, but it was the tough yards where he was getting hit and spun around, and you still see his knees moving and his feet moving, and just getting that extra 3 yards or 2.5 or 4 yards on every carry.
Yeah,
He was
100%.
amazing last night for
He
Seattle.
really was, and also pass blocking, man. He he's a great pass blocker, so that also has a lot to do with it.
Yeah. Well, it was a great game, man, and I look forward to this Super Bowl. We'll get more into
Yeah,
that for sure on our next
we've got
couple
time to kind of
episodes.
dissect that and figure out what we're going to do about that. It'll be played in the dome, a covered stadium, it looks like, or at least it'll be in great environment and weather-wise. So we'll see. It should be a good one. But hey, I was just looking back. The entire playoffs were great this year. Loved it.
Me too. Just wish I could see the Dolphins make the playoff again someday soon.
Um,
Oh boy! But the last couple things I
for
was going to,
forever is a long time, and it works both ways.
yeah,
I hope everything cycles out. Listen, um, the 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 coaching choices really are important in the NFL.
yeah,
You don't find out you made a mistake until 2, 3 years down the road, usually. So you've lost all that time if it wasn't somebody who can get your team at least deep into the playoffs. Raiders still don't have a coach. Listen, I wish John Gruden would. If John Gruden said he's allowed back in the NFL or wants to coach, I'd be all for it. Um, Especially after the Barstool. If you haven't seen this out there, you can Google it. John Gruden on Barstool back in 24, before the draft, they were all tossing around the quarterbacks and who should go where and who's the best quarterback and all that. And they're all chatterboxing around, and Gruden's laying back in a chair, and he just goes, Drake May is going to be a monster in the NFL. He is a horse. He's going to, and you know, Dave behind him is like, blah blah blah, and they're all like basically mocking him for his pick, and that aged very well because Gruden just has an eye for that stuff. I'm sure. But anyways, coaching matters. I'm sure one day we'll be saying, "Wow, look how long we waited for the Dolphins or the Raiders. Hey, look how long it took, my beloved Miami Hurricanes. 25 years of just not even just, oh, we almost had it of nothingness, wasteland. So it can happen. Let's just hope it doesn't take 25 years for the Dolphins.
Great point. And that makes it. I was just thinking while you were talking about that, about Mike McDonald. Where did they find this guy? Oh, from your neighborhood. So,
Well, yeah, but where they really found him was the defensive coordinator from Michigan,
yeah,
because Michigan won the national championship. I don't want to say solely, no offense to, McCarthy or anything like that, but pretty much solely because of their defense. Um, so we're going to have another episode this week. We're going to talk about the portal, which is just crazy. There's so many crazy, not just players, but things going on with, tampering and legal disputes and all that. So that deserves its own time. But we do cover all sports. So before we go, there's a couple things going on in the NBA that are of interest. What happened? Something happened yesterday. What was it?
yeah. Come on, folks. Can you believe that the New
Really?
Orleans Pelicans went into San Antonio last night and beat the Spurs in San Antonio?
That's the thing. It was at home because I know on any given Sunday in any sport anything can happen. But yeah, to go in and beat um, you know the second place team in the West when you are dead last, that was a big win. And now the Spurs, got to pick up their pride a little bit. But that was amazing. NHL's in full swing. I think we'll dedicate more time to the NHL as we're getting closer and closer to the close of that and the Olympics, um, and also golf. What happened yesterday? Did a did a familiar name rise to the top again?
Man, his golf game is just amazing. It's fun to watch him. Of course, I didn't watch it yesterday because of the football.
Yeah,
Scotty
right.
Scheffler has
Yeah,
become the third player T
20.
championships before the age of 30.
Yeah, crazy.
And he joins company.
Hmm. How many others?
There are two others. See if you can guess
Only
who they
two
are.
others that have won 20 tournaments before the age of what?
30.
Would that happen to be the usual suspects? Whenever we're talking about this kind of, you know, PGA history type stuff, and there's
Yeah.
only two,
Yeah.
then I would have to say their initials start with J, N, and TW.
You are correct, sir.
Thank you.
Come
Thank you.
on down, Joe. Let's going to give you
So
your
Tom
prop.
Watson. So Tom Watson is one of them.
No, Tiger Woods.
Oh, the other TW.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. See, never assume.
Oh, man. Well, it's been
Yes,
fun. Looking forward to talking more about that portal and starting to get into some other sports. And we got a good thing coming up here. We're going to really break down the Super Bowl. It's going to be good. From
yes.
brains to physical, who's the weak link, who's Mr. Clutch. And
Love it. Look
before
forward
you
to it.
know it,
And don't forget, we wanted to mention we did not vet this thoroughly, but we're pretty sure, but we're not experts, that Sam Darnold is the first USC quarterback to go to the Super Bowl. If we're wrong, comments. We love it. Sometimes, matter of fact, I think we're going to start saying wrong things just to promote more comments. The ones that are commenting, thank you. We love it. We try to get back to every one of you, and we appreciate you subscribing and liking.
Big time. I
Yeah,
agree, man.
because it really does help. So that's it for this episode of the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks with Jim and Joe. Thanks for checking us out and hang with us for some real fan-driven sports talk.
And once again, we love your comments. Please keep those comments coming. We read all of them, and we'll drop them below and read them and feature them in future episodes. Be sure to like and subscribe. Tell your friends about us. If you just like hanging out and talking or listening to a little bit of sports, and join us every week for free on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you listen, folks.
Sounds good. All right, Jim. I'll see you, buddy. Take care,
Take
man.
take it
All right,
easy,
bro.
Joe.
See you, man.
Thank you. Bye.